shortly here. It's loaded up, and here we are.
Nice.
All right.
Where's the link? I want to see.
Oh yeah, let me hit you up with that, and we'll actually get the official setup going here. That way we can see the chatters, and here is your link, sir. I believe this is my chat right here. Yes, it is.
Oh, we have chatters already?
Well, if we were to have chatters, that we
Yeah.
would see them there.
Right.
So, one thing kind of right off the bat here that we were talking about just earlier is this thing with the crack pipes, with the Biden crack pipes. Actually, first of all, I want to say to the denizens of the internet, far and wide and across time, hello, welcome to the AGit prop stream. Welcome. We're gonna tear it all down. It's actually gonna happen. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, relatives in humanity, whatever your gender identity is, welcome. Thank you. And
There's a lot happening on the screen right now.
yeah, isn't that great? Oh wow, wait, why is it? Oh, it's fucking mirroring. How is it mirroring if that's
Oh, this is
okay?
great.
We're gonna stop it mirroring now. But we've got the Biden crack pipe saga. The what do we call this? The snafu. So we were talking about the semantics of whether or not it mattered that they were giving indeed mouthpieces, screens, and wipes. So safe smoking kits.
Yeah. So what do the fact checkers have to say about it? The arbiters of truth. I'm curious.
That's what they're saying is that it was actually safe smoking kits, not crack pipes. So that's the difference here.
Well, I don't know. What's the difference between a kit and a pipe? Sounds kind of like the same thing to me.
Yeah, exactly. You could fashion a kit into a pipe. Ultimately, I think it's just a war of words, like the rest of it, and that's why this is all so sensitive. This is also tricky.
Usually includes mouthpiece, screens, and wipes.
Yeah,
I see.
and like you were saying earlier, that's the part, the mouthpiece that people are coming into contact with that has the potential danger of disease, spreading communicable disease. So we're avoiding that is the goal.
Right. Progress.
Oh, but actually, that takes us immediately. That's an immediate obligatory segue into the next issue, which is our buddy Joe Manchin and Rubio. We've got the dream team here. Rubio Manchin offer bill to prevent feds from buying crack pipes. So Senator Marco Rubio and Joe Manchin introduced a bipartisan bill aimed at blocking federal funds from going toward crack pipes and other drug paraphernalia. Let's see,
Finally, the parties are uniting.
exactly, bipartisanship looks awesome. I mean, when it looks like this amazing team. Look at McConnell there. Oh my god! But I like the name of the act too, the Preventing Illicit Paraphernalia for Exchange Systems. The Pipes Act. Like, who does this? Why how do they manage to do this? Who sits around and is like, yep, this is what it's gonna be. That's what the taxpayer money is going to. Somebody sitting down and thinking of this shit. So it's gonna prevent the government from purchasing syringes and needles.
Yeah, an underpaid staffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming up with the titles here. I mean,
Somebody
it's one
who
of those
needs.
things that's like, yeah, it's like we're gonna stop the government from doing these things that they're not even doing anyway. So it's like, great. It's entirely symbolic.
Like I like this part. So cannot the bill dictates that federal funds cannot be used. Oh wait, these people didn't understand that cannot is one word. They separated it into two words. Big oof the hill. You guys need to pick somebody who can like read and write to write your articles, okay? All right.
So,
What's
what do you
that?
expect? Said it is the hill. So what do you expect?
I guess. Yeah. They've gone downhill. What can we say?
Yeah,
So cannot be used
these
to
people are like
procure.
falling.
Uh,
Sorry.
no, don't be sorry. So, cannot be used to procure, supply, or distribute pipes, cylindrical objects, or other paraphernalia that can be used to smoke, inhale, or ingest narcotics.
Oh,
So,
so no bottles, no cans, nothing.
I guess. I mean, those are cylindrical objects, aren't they? I mean, you could
Just
also
all
use
the
them to
food
smoke or
drives.
inhale things. Or no nebulizers in some cases. Like I've seen cylindrical nebulizers. Like
I've
wait,
seen
what?
people like I've seen people like smoke out of apples. So I guess we're gonna ban apples too.
Can be used to smoke, inhale, or ingest narcotics. Well, so unless
Such an
there's a
awesome country.
no, exactly. What are we doing here? Like the wealthiest country on earth, 21st century. What a disaster. So, it states unless there's a considerable risk of HIV outbreak or hepatitis infection due to drug use, government funding should not be used towards such purposes. Okay. Okay. And then they talk about how addiction is crippling and everybody knows addicts. And Rubio, this is their simple argument. This is their very simple communication to people. We need to do more, but sending drug paraphernalia to addicts is not the answer. Like it's as simple
Nice.
as that for them. You know, this model that like we were bitching about in texts earlier. Uh, the drug addict, it's their fault. It's a failing of your character if you get addicted to something, and just this hating poor people approach where it's just like, yep, you spend all of your money on drugs and it's all your fault and we're not if you die, good, we want to get rid of you. This looks like where we are with these people.
What percentage of West Virginia do you think uses crack on like a
Crack?
weekly basis? Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Don't they have a big opioid problem, I know. Okay, it says every American in West Virginia has been impacted by the drug epidemic. Oh, that was a mansion thing. I was hoping it would say something about that.
So take a guess.
You
Take
looked
a
it up?
guess. Like, yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so, and it's how many West Virginians use crack?
Yeah, or
Okay,
like federal charges, like of like drug related federal charges. How many do you think were crack related, crack cocaine related in West Virginia?
and okay, the federal charges. And
Which is
I'm
like
gonna
the metric
admit
you're gonna get. You're not gonna like volunteer to get people that say, "Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've used crack."
Like, I'm gonna confess I don't even know the general population of West Virginia, so I'm gonna look that up to get a gauge of it. Do you think is that acceptable for this?
Oh sure, I
Okay,
guess yeah.
West
But I'm asking
Virginia.
for a percentage, so it should be irrelevant of
Oh,
how many.
percentage. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess like 30%.
Okay. The correct answer is 57.2%.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, Mansion's helping his state for sure. Got to pump those numbers up. 57's too low.
So in 2018, it was 1,792,147. Okay.
That's the population.
Yeah. And that was 2018, apparently.
Using DuckDuckGo?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's funny. I'm also using DuckDuckGo.
Hilarious. It doesn't even matter. It obviously doesn't matter. As we know, the CIA is watching everything we do anyway.
pretty sure
which
DuckDuckGo was invented like last year, just like Zoom was in
probably
2020.
by the CIA.
Yeah, like it came out. They both came out of nowhere because they're just like monitoring services. Like, what
Um,
weird shit are people trying to look up that they are too scared to Google?
yeah. Um, all the stuff that the CIA wanted them to. Who sent me that? Oh, here it is. We're gonna take a look at that. The surveillance is done without any court approval and with few, if any, safeguards imposed by Congress to protect their civil liberty. So, U.S. Senator Ron Wyden, Martin Heinrich of the Senate Intelligence Committee, they called for new transparency. Are you? Oh, okay. About bulk surveillance conducted by the CIA following the release of documents that revealed a secret bulk collection program and problems with how the agency searches and handles Americans' information. I mean, this is what it boils down to, everybody, if you already don't know this. When you're in front of a camera, just assume you're being watched through it or listened to through it. Like, honestly, probably since 2001. You
Yeah.
probably should have been assuming that.
Yeah, I rarely ever use my webcam or like have it exposed.
Yeah, I mean, I know a bunch of people who like cover up their webcam or like make it face the wall or something when they're not using it.
I
Okay.
just one thing I hate about like modern laptops is they all have a webcam installed, like integrated into it. I miss the days of like external webcams where you could just unplug it and be done with it.
Yeah, exactly. I just keep mine plugged in at a blazing, honestly.
I
Um,
mean, the crazy thing is, I don't say crazy, but like I guess the ironic thing is that like people cover up their like computer webcam, but then they just leave their front-facing camera on their phones exposed all the time.
oh yeah, well,
Like the phone is like way less secure than a computer is in terms of like being able to hack into it and like watch what you're doing.
and
But
being
people like
able
literally
to
take a shit, just like have their phone facing them the whole time.
exactly, and being able to hack you, the person.
Yeah.
These big tech companies, in some cases, have set out with the explicit and deliberate ethos, with malice aforethought, to destroy the human mind, and that is no joke. Uh, apparently, um, and this is part of the thing here that also everybody knows since the dawn of time. We've all known this. The letter notes that the program was entirely outside the statutory framework that Congress and the public believed governed this collection, and without any of the judicial, congressional, or even executive branch oversight that comes from Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act collection. So, they're breaking the law and no one's doing anything about it because that's how we roll in this country. We do not hold our institutions and elites to account for their crimes.
I mean, they can't break the law; they are the law.
Exactly. That's exactly it. FISA gets all the attention because of the periodic congressional reauthorizations. Oh yeah, FISA. And the release of DOJ, ODNI, and FISA court documents. Let's see. Many of the same concerns that Americans have about their privacy and civil liberties also apply to how the CIA collects and handles information under executive order and outside the FISA law. So, just a friendly reminder for all you fellow lefties out there. You get your Faraday cage out when you're hatching your plans, or however, because
Tinfoil hat.
yeah, get your tinfoil hat on, bounce the transmissions away, you know, set up a commune with the aliens and God because the CIA and the NSA are listening. So we just got a lot of options here. I mean, what has the Biden administration done for us lately? You know, I like how public sentiment around that is like 56% people
And
saying he's done nothing.
didn't his approval rating hit like record low?
Yes.
Right now it's like 39% or something like that. 29%.
I think he's almost getting as low as like one of Trump's lowest approval ratings, which is
Yeah,
impressive.
I
Very
mean, makes
impressive.
sense.
I mean, you vote for Biden, you think you're going to get a sweet relief on student debt, and then what you get instead is World War III potentially.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things where like his approval rating is never going to be above 50% anyway, because like 50% of the country is just a bunch of Republicans. But it's interesting to see that like half of the Democrats also don't like him, and I'm wondering what they're if you polled like the Democrats, what would they say in terms of why they don't like him? Like why his approval is so low?
Well, and they would basically say that he's done nothing and that he's defaulted on, I mean,
You don't think
all
there's
of
a
his
you don't think there's a
legislative
small percentage
promises.
that's like that thinks he's too far left?
Oh, we know there are, but those are the corpos that are those are just other oligarchs or like
Yeah, the
other
corporate dudes.
oligarchic representatives. Yeah,
Yeah, I think out of all the people that I've met that voted for Biden, none of them are happy at this moment. So there's that little silver lining.
here I'm gonna play for the stream this Jen Psaki clip. Little clip.
Impasse. What's Plan B to try and bring down some of these costs?
This
Well,
about the
there's a
crack
couple
pipes.
steps that the president is very
They're
focused
asking her what are some of the plans to bring down these costs.
on as it relates to addressing inflation. One, I would note that economists in the Federal Reserve still predict that inflation will come down, will moderate over the course
So
of
they're
the
still
year. And the president has
expecting inflation is going to come down. They're still saying that when it hasn't, and she's not mentioning that inflation is code for corporations openly bilking
also
us.
said that he supports the steps that the Federal Reserve, an independent body, has announced about recalibrating over the course of the
So
coming
she's
months. And
making indications about Fed rate
has
hikes.
obviously nominated a number of individuals to fill the board, which is an essential part of addressing this. But I would also note beyond that, how the president really looks at this is how you're addressing core costs for the American people. So you referenced the Build Back Better plan. First,
So
we
she's talking
believe there's
about
a
Build
path
Back
forward,
Better
and the
now.
president's going to continue to fight for it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and that's the key. That's like up in the quote in the tweet. We believe there's a path forward, and the president is going to continue to fight for it on Build Back Better. Like that is the ratchet effect working away, like doing its job like no other. It's amazing. I saw some kind of like little blurb about Biden, like, I didn't realize that the American people didn't want me to be a senator president. They wanted me to be the president, not a senator. It's like, okay. Okay, Dementia Man, I'm sorry. But I'm gonna bust out the ableism here. It's not looking good for you.
he wouldn't have gone to Virginia earlier this week and talked about negotiating the price of prescription drugs.
First he's talking
his
about
view is that in order
negotiating
to
prescription
address
drug prices.
costs
Yeah,
that have
they're just
been
pretending
affecting
that
inflation, but also
Build
infecting
Back
families
Better is
for
gonna
many
happen.
decades, the cost of prescription drugs, the cost of childcare. We need to move that
Yeah, they keep
forward.
going back and
But
forth.
it's
I
not
mean,
just that. We also need to
who
address
knows what Manchin
supply
wants
chains in
anymore?
the short term at the ports.
Well, we know what he wants. I mean, there's this
Well,
amazing.
we know he doesn't want crack pipes.
Right, true. The Pipes Act. Get no cylindrical objects at all, as a matter of fact. I mean, Joe Manchin, Rubio, wow. Wow, I didn't see it coming, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Rebuild
she's
our
saying, let's
manufacturing
see, yeah, we're gonna
infrastructure,
rebuild the
make sure that we are
manufacturing and
implementing
infrastructure.
bipartisan
They're just like,
infrastructure
I love how
and
they just like
continue
milk
to
all the
press for
rhetoric of the
competitiveness
Build Back
legislation
Better
that will help
bill the
ensure we
whole
have funding
time
for chips
and just don't
for
do anything with it.
manufacturing of cars here in the United
It's
States.
so cool. Like that's awesome for them. How they can do that. Okay, get out of that. Okay, let's see here. Oh, where to go from here? Oh, for we got also the other one you sent earlier, where it's like another glorious Biden production. Biden is moving to split 7 billion in frozen Afghan central bank assets between 9/11 victims' families and humanitarian aid in Afghanistan.
Yeah, that one.
It's gonna be announced
Yeah,
next Friday.
we just like stole that money and then gave it to people that had nothing, like a completely unrelated issue.
We are also forcing like 20 to 30 million people into starvation conditions right now. And we're like this amazing, great, moral country. We're the wealthiest nation on earth. We're so awesome. Like, we're such a
To be
joke.
to be fair, don't we do that on our own soil? A lot
Yeah.
of times too.
Like, force people into near starvation conditions. Not near 30 million people. But, I to be honest, I think
People
it's
are in
like up to a
poverty.
third of Americans potentially are food insecure, but not chronically food insecure necessarily. So, um, if we're being honest about the metrics here, um, but we do let way more people be hungry. Probably document way less of it than we should for obviously being the wealthiest country on earth. I mean, we could. I mean, world hunger is essentially a policy choice. We can develop that in other podcasts or even later here, but we arguably can make enough food for 10 billion people on Earth, and we do a lot financially and monetarily to make sure that we're throwing away most of the excess food or eating too much of it or using it so inefficiently and growing it in ways that are just killing the soil. I mean, we only have like uh, I think like 8,000 harvests or something like that left, like 40 years worth of harvests, like worth of soil that's usable if we keep on the way we're going. The food situation, oh my god, so fucked up.
I mean, we've got too many people.
Uh,
That's why they're gonna send us to all the space.
it's it's incredible because it's the Malthusian argument, the tragedy of the commons, but it's just not true. Like, we don't have this zero sum landscape for resources. Like, we could use them more sustainably, but we weave these lies about how it has to be this way. There's no other way. We're doing the most moral thing. It's like, what? How are we doing the most moral thing having 40% of people be obese in this country and we're spreading this cancerous fucking diet around the world, exporting that literal cancer, and other people are starving because they don't have enough money to pay for the pesticides or the GMOs or the seeds or whatever from Monsanto that they need to plant, that they need to sell to us to like buy more seeds and shit anyway.
Dude, being obese is a privilege.
True.
It's an evolutionary privilege. Means you won at life as a species.
You won so much that you lose. I mean, God, it's so uncomfortable being fat, and it's so unhealthy.
Yo, chill with the fat shaming.
It's there's a whole area of discussion as to we don't want to shame people, but we also need to be honest about things like how being fat is destructive to your health and will knock years off your lifespan. Uh,
I
and
mean, I get that. I get that, but I mean, this is like the same thing with like where they tell you you have to recycle. like it's a individual effort to end climate change, when it's like one corporation is, making like 60% of the carbon emissions. It's the same thing. It's like you're telling people, oh, you're unhealthy for being obese, but it's like, well, I can't afford healthy foods. It's like all the organic shit, all the like non-pesticide shit's like 3 times as much as just going to McDonald's and getting food. I don't have time to cook. I definitely don't have the resources to buy groceries, expensive groceries all the time. So it's
Right.
like my only option is to just eat this shitty food that they're giving me. It's not my fault.
Right. I'm only emphasizing the health detriments in the case of people who will, basically
Right.
the fat acceptance movement
Well, I mean,
brand
I
of
think
lefties.
yeah, I think
But
that's just like it's the acceptance of all other things. Because again, it's not their fault that a lot of times it's not literally their fault that they're fat.
well,
In
I
some
feel
cases,
like
it is true, but
what you're saying is correct, and I wouldn't blame people because it is a systemic issue. And again, it's like we're understanding fundamental attribution error in saying that it's not the fault of the individual for being overweight in a system that makes food in a predatory way, basically, and distributes it in a predatory way, or at least a way that's just maximizing for profit, and nothing else. Certainly not human well-being. Um, yeah, it's fair and fine to say that, and I agree with all that. But I think in the or in the fat acceptance movement, that's not what they're focusing on. They're focusing on body positivity, and some of them will legitimately, like, in my opinion, deludedly say things like, it, "Yeah, it's not bad for you," or whatever. And it's like, no, it is.
maybe
Whether it's your
I
fault
would
or
need some.
not.
I would need some like even some anecdotal evidence of somebody saying that seriously. I've never encountered somebody
Oh,
saying that being fat is healthy.
oh, I could show you.
Okay, show me. Go pull it up right now.
Okay,
Well, not right now, but find it and then show it to me at some point, because
no,
I
I
don't believe
will.
you. I don't believe you that there's serious people making that argument.
Um, I've seen the perfect video once. I'm trying to remember what it was. Um,
Oh, and actually, make the reference not be Twitter, because we both know that Twitter's insane, and all
yeah.
of the takes on Twitter are wrong. That doesn't matter. That's not a legitimate. Give me like the Washington Post or something.
I do.
Oh,
Or the New York Times
we'll pull
opinion
up.
piece that says
We will pull up a watch together right now.
awesome.
There are really good examples of this though that I need to like. I need to find some of the best ones. Um, yeah. Oh wait. Oh God. Here's what. Okay, well, I don't know what's in this clip at all. We'll start with this one, and I'll see if I can find like the one I'm dreaming of because I saw an amazing one once. Let me send you this link. Let me see here. I'm still trolling around to see if I can find the one.
Fat acceptance.
So presumably one of these women is going to be
Fat.
fat, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
I do agree that there is stigma that I have to deal with because I am fat, but I'm actually really in celebration of my body. I find beauty in diversity. I think we come in all shapes and sizes. And the assumption that we've dealt with a lot on this show is that just because you're obese, you must overeat, you must have an eating disorder. I know that not to be the case. I know you can have a healthy relationship.
Now, Mimi, you say this is misleading. Go have at it a little bit.
Well, I certainly think that we all want to feel good about ourselves. That's understandable. I don't think people should feel demeaned by their size.
This woman's name is Meme Roth.
Uh oh.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Totally credible. Anyway.
Uh-oh.
And I also
Uh-oh.
couldn't agree more with the message of daily exercise. No matter what size you are, you'll
Is
certainly
it
benefit
Mimi?
from daily exercise. You can't be healthy without that. But then let's talk about where we disagree. Look, if you want to feel good about yourself, it's impossible to feel good about yourself when you're doing something that's self-destructive. Also, self-destructive behaviors that result in damage or debilitation or even disfigurement to the body, that's never going to be perceived as beautiful.
The thing is that I think
Yikes.
that the Hayes approach, the health at every size approach, has been documented to work. And it's been documented to work year after year.
What do you mean work? What do you mean work? Because a health at every size
Yikes,
is a lie. If you
yikes.
starve
This is
yourself into
an
damage, that's
inflammatory
unhealthy.
clip.
Or if you eat yourself into
making a
damage,
lot
that's
of
not healthy.
You're making
So,
a lot of assumptions.
that's just
here.
not.
That
that's
lady
not
is
you're
crazy.
Making a lot of saying, that's like
The
saying
thin
that,
lady.
Weight
let's
being
say you were a
self-destructive.
smoker.
Oh no.
Let's say you're a smoker and have black lungs, and you try to say that's healthy because you don't have cancer yet. We know that it is actually factual that obesity is dangerous, and it's connected to cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's. We even know it's connected to an increase in birth defects. So there's nothing left to debate.
Mimi?
It's not beautiful. It's not healthy.
I think
It
you
is
need to
Mimi.
separate the idea of weight from healthy behavior. Now, I have students that when they come to me, when they start my class, they can barely walk from the car to my class. And over the course of a year, I'll take them from that point to working out 3+ hours
There's
per
your
week.
class now.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
but that's,
that's
a
not
massive
fat
improvement. I
acceptance.
mean,
Right.
that's no longer people with medical issues. Those are
Yeah,
people
I mean, it sounds like
But
the
they
only
haven't
person in this
necessarily
video
lost
that
a lot of weight.
was
Some
saying
of
that
them
it
have
wasn't
lost no
healthy
weight,
was
and they've
the
had these
Mimi
medical
lady.
improvements, and they've had these life improvements, these life freedom improvements, without losing.
Well, that's not even.
She went
Yeah,
into
she
like,
didn't
yeah,
even
she
have
like
fat acceptance. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I'm
neither of the fat women said that like being fat was healthy, but the other lady was like, well, it's not healthy, even though nobody said it was.
right.
Yeah.
I'm looking for. I've seen just the most amazing lecture about it at one point. I'm looking. So I'm probably being an asshole here, but yeah, there are some people who will deny that it is unhealthy and that can be sad, and it's not that hard to imagine. I mean, there are all sorts of crazy people who do all kinds of stuff.
How credible are they?
How credible? Oh yeah, they're not credible.
Right. So then don't present it like they're credible. Then that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that they're like thought leaders so much
Right.
as that they exist. There's
I don't know,
also
it just reminds me of like every like right wing propaganda talking point argument, whatever, reactionary type thing. Like you're like one step away from just saying that leftists want everybody to be fat. Like that's what you sound like.
no, that's just liberals.
Like
Liberals want everybody to be
leftists
fat.
think that fat people are healthier than skinny people, and they want to make you fat. Like, all right, calm down.
No. All I'm saying is that there are some people that exist that think that their fatness is like amazing and really good, which is fine.
Too much copium.
Yeah, it is copium, major copium.
Love thyself.
Like
Even
it's
if
hard
it's
to find
ultimately
a
harmful.
clip of people like being Okay, wait. Maybe I found one here.
Being
Maybe I
suppressed in the
found.
mainstream media.
The line where a body type becomes unhealthy.
Ah,
Mainstream media doesn't want you to know that being fat is healthy, John.
true. This is no. This book is too long. We're gonna get down a rabbit hole here. I will do my research on the worst of the fat acceptance movement, or I will reform my my troglodytic belief. One or the other.
Yeah,
Uh,
fair enough.
but yeah, as long as everybody agrees that it's unhealthy, but we also agree it's not the fault of people explicitly in a culture that tries to make you fat in a lot of different ways as well. It's not just food. It's also our
Fat people,
lifestyles.
yeah, fat people have higher health insurance premiums.
So they're more profitable.
Right.
I mean, yeah, and they have more chronic diseases
Right.
and they require more medications.
And just look at the price of insulin.
And they eat more.
Sometimes. Usually, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. It's true.
I don't know about like the case of diabetics. I think they're just like heavy set because they can't process sugar correctly.
Well, type 1 diabetics, I mean, type 2 diabetics
Oh, yeah,
are
type 2 diabetes, like it's a result of overeating, like years of
Exactly.
overeating.
Exactly. Which, I mean, the system likes the diabetics too, because maybe then one day they can get you on dialysis, which is an expensive treatment.
Right.
Got more Biden stuff, kind of, sort of. I like this list of 7 defense stocks to buy as the Ukraine crisis heats up. This is a nice article on Investor Place. Are they
Like, are any of them?
affordable?
Yeah, are any of
Uh,
them like less than $10? Probably not, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, like one stock is like $1,000, like
But
500.
there are some familiar names on here on this list. It's pretty awesome. We got Lockheed Martin, classic. We got Raytheon Technologies. What a fucking gem. We got Boeing,
Arizona.
the
Also Arizona?
the Titan. We got L3 Harris Technologies. It's just not sure what's going on there. We got Booz Allen Hamilton. They're boozing it up. We got the fucking big boy, the vanguard of them all. Not actual vanguard. We got Northrop Grumman. And then we've got Huntington Ingalls Industries. And then at the
Sounds
very
fake.
end, after those recommendations, it says, to be clear, no one should angle for war. However, sovereign territory and the rule of law must be respected. Thus, defense stocks in general have been solid investments because they keep honest people honest. Oh, that's nice. Lose this credibility, though, and bad things happen quickly. And honestly, if we just allow countries to do whatever they want, then the American taxpayer deserves a refund for the trillions going into defense, only to receive poor outcomes. Wow. So
That's actually a good point.
wait, but listen to what they're really saying though. It's like since you're getting poor outcomes, like with Afghanistan, say like make sure to invest now. Like in this war with Ukraine, because it's gonna go well this time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like what?
Well, we got it, guys. I promise.
Like they're literally trying to have it like 3 ways at once here. They're like, now, now invest in this. Now, no one wants a war, but if we did have war, we need to respect like land boundaries, and we need to win the war because we wouldn't want people to not invest in us because of shitty outcomes. Don't mention Afghanistan. Invest in us, you guys. Like, wow. It's just incredible. I like that.
Well, I mean, we literally pulled out of Afghanistan and then increased the military budget.
Exactly.
Which makes like 0 sense.
The Pentagon budget, a massive $768 billion. Incredible. Oh, Boeing is down by the dip.
Nice.
Okay.
My mom used to work for Boeing back when their planes were blowing up in the air.
That's not a good time to work for them.
No, it's not at all. $212 is a lot of money for one stock, though.
So we've got bigger bonuses lift CFO pay as companies rebound from pandemic shock. I like seeing these articles about bonuses. Cash bonuses for finance chiefs at large U.S. companies grew 36% in 2021, according to analysis of early proxy findings. So, compensation for CFOs at large U.S. companies rose 16% in 2021. Let's see. Median compensation for the finance chiefs was $4.9 million last year. Very good, finance chiefs. Nice. Companies with fiscal years that end midway through the calendar year file their proxy reports, which include details about executive compensation. Annual cash bonuses for the CFOs jumped 36% to a median of $1.2 million. Nice. Stronger bonus pay also lifted chief executives' compensation, which rose 16% to a median of $14.2 million. There is much better corporate financial performance. They're doing so well. The analysis included 43 companies. A total of 66 companies in the S&P 500 have fiscal years that conclude during the 4 months ended blah blah blah. Tyson Foods CFO dude received $1.7 million bonus. Ooh, that's awesome.
Good for him. He
Yeah,
deserves it.
he really does. He works hard. Under the criteria, the company had to earn adjusted operating income of $2.42 billion, which was lower than their target. In order for executives to receive a 100% payout. Oh, that's important. You know, the executives need that 100% payout. Tyson's adjusted operating income for the year was $4.22 billion, entitling executives to 200% of their payout amounts, according to the filing. Those guys make away with money. Man. Those guys know how to do it. Glendenning, who's been in the role, Glendenning's compensation increased 34% to $5.2 million. The Tyson spokesman said the company has managed through challenging circumstances. And these companies, by the way, they have fucked their workers. 2021 median base salary for CFOs in the sample of proxy filings was $700,000. Okay. In 2022, C-suite salaries are expected to increase 4.4% because of higher inflation. That's awesome. The inflation that they're creating is going to increase their salaries. They're really very smart people, these guys. They're so brilliant. The Walgreens finance chief got $1.9 million. 2.5 billion from 456 million. Jesus. These people are just turning it over. They're just raking it in. It goes on and on, this article. Just all these CFOs making millions of dollars with these fat ass bonuses after laying people off and killing people. This is awesome.
Yeah, I wish I was a CEO for just 1 year. Or CFO in this case.
Yeah, you'd be set for life.
Yeah.
You know, 1 year and you're fucking good to go.
Do it for 1 year and retire.
Exactly. You'd be like, well, I'm done working my bullshit fucking job. Thank you very much. Do you have anything to add to all of this financial, boonery for these foods, John?
No, just that money's fake.
Okay, I respect that and believe it. So I'm gonna rant about COVID for a second, and then I'm gonna ask you an important question, and then we'll see where we get. So the heart disease risk soars after COVID, even with a mild case, even in some cases for vaccinated people. So, a massive study shows a long term substantial risk in rise of cardiovascular disease, including heart attack and stroke, after an infection with SARS CoV 2. These fuckers, I mean, this is a pretty picture. Behold. But I just want to say that the public, so that's us, like, the public sucks. We suck. We are fucking, and I know it's a systemic thing. It's like a goddamn fundamental attribution error thing, but we're gaslit as all hell. This quote quote mild thing, maybe like it's turning out in the research, just maybe had a longer window within which it starts to affect your cardiovascular system negatively. We know because of the receptor that this thing attaches to that there are bound to be like microthrombi, which means small clots, because of the way that the epithelium, the vascular epithelium is damaged by the virus, okay? Like, we have ignored important things about long COVID, about our cardiovascular systems. We have been too simple. We're like, oh, it's just a respiratory virus. So, yeah, we don't need to worry about anything but our lungs. So these researchers are like, yeah, even a mild case can increase a person's risk of cardiovascular problems for at least a year after diagnosis. And that's just so far. And that's at least a year. So they found many conditions such as heart failure and stroke were substantially higher in people who had recovered from COVID 19. And this is hospitalized and unhospitalized.
Damn.
So this is not great. There's some data in here. I'm actually looking for the here. Let's go to the nature.
This is stuff I was
articles.
telling people in like June of 2020.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
we've known
your
this.
lungs, but this shit like fucks up your heart and your kidneys and stuff.
Exactly. Because
Whatever your weakest organ is, that's the one it's gonna go after.
exactly. Well, and the thing with like repeat infections, and there's a potential that our T cells actually start to damage us after a while, and certainly after repeat infections, and our immune systems will potentially not do as well. It's just like a whole shit ton of stuff we don't know about what's going on with this disease, especially as we carry on with it into the future. And just how irresponsible we've been about vaccine uptake, about misinformation and disinformation, and about like keeping people safe. I mean, simple things we can and should be doing with some of that Pentagon money, like putting fancy ass HEPA filters in schools and all of the buildings and shit. Like that's something we could easily do that would cut down on all kinds of respiratory illnesses, and that tons of scientists are crying for, whether they want masks or not. We should be wearing fucking masks in indoor spaces. Like that should be brain dead obvious. Like especially when we have 3,000 people to 4,000 people dying every day for like the past several weeks. 9/11's worth of deaths every day for weeks. And this is not the first time we're here. This won't be the last time we're here. And everybody's saying it's over again because we're gaslit as fuck. Like this is unacceptable. The risk was elevated even for those who were under 65 under 65 years of age and lacked risk factors such as obesity or diabetes. It doesn't matter if you were young or old. It doesn't matter if you smoked or you didn't, said the study co-author and the chief of research. The risk was there, and they based the research on an extensive health record database. Okay. And there's plenty of other shit in here. about that. It's not good news, folks. We're being very irresponsible. We have abandoned the precautionary principle. I am upset. I think everybody should be upset about this. And history will look back at what we have done and what we're doing, and we will be ashamed if we're in a good place. If we haven't abandoned all reason by the time anybody's looking back at this in any meaningful capacity.
Well, at least you get to go to a football game again.
Yeah, at least we get to have the Super Bowl like we did last year.
I love their commercials.
God damn it. What a horrible dystopian sentence, that we hear our friends and family utter. I love
Ouch.
the commercials.
Oh, make fun of me to my face.
Oh, were you saying that
Well,
to me
not to my
legitimately?
face, but
I'm sorry, were you being serious?
I was being a little bit facetious. I mean, the
Okay.
commercials aren't terrible, but
They're not?
no,
I
don't
mean,
actually
like,
care about them that
some
much.
of them are entertaining, but that's the problem. I mean, like, we don't want commercial.
Typically,
Like,
Yeah, the commercials are like the best part. I will say that.
I feel
The commercials and the
conflicted.
halftime show.
Well, true. The commercials are also most of it. It's like a 15-minute
yeah.
fucking game.
Right.
Split
It's
up.
like a 3-hour commercial break with football in between every now and then.
And it's, I said this before we were recording, I believe, like, this is the true American religion, this shit. I mean, we pay these people, like, they're goddamn space heroes. Like, they fucking deserve it for beating up their girlfriends and getting chronic traumatic encephalopathy for running at each other and having a 300-pound collision. Like, awesome. Thank you, sir. Like, what a service to society, because people can watch that and our mirror neurons can be stimulated. The bread and circus is wonderful. The bread and circus is truly a gift. What's this?
Said it keeps you locked in.
Yeah.
3 hours at a time. Sometimes
Keeps a
all
lot
day
of
if you like.
people enthralled, for sure.
I do like the social aspect of it, though. I'm not gonna lie. I do like football.
Domestic abuse in a locality goes up 10% when the home team loses.
Jeez. Wow.
Okay, I've got a question for you from earlier. So I hope you've done your research.
Of course not.
Of course not. Okay.
Well, I gotta know what the question is first.
Okay, so so the question is about the legitimacy of our democracy. I believe in the pursuit of step 0 in getting as many people on the same page as us about the duopoly and the plutocracy and the oligopoly and the oligarchy, and not being divided against ourselves, but understanding that this is a class war, blah, blah, blah. One of the essential cornerstones is it hinges on that argument, especially among liberals who think the democracy, I mean, in some cases they think it's legitimate now. So that's an argument that has to be made, but I feel like that's an easier argument to make. There are aspects of the historical argument that are easy to hearken to as well, but I'm interested in you fleshing out the case here of why is the democracy illegitimate now? We can both tackle that together. If you don't want to take it all on, but I'd be happy to hear your whole rendition here. And then why is the democracy illegitimate historically, and how far does that range? Is it ever legitimate? I suspect the answer is no.
I mean, those are basically like, why is it illegitimate now? It's because it was illegitimate before.
like you can't say it's like nothing's changed. So of course it's illegitimate now if it was illegitimate historically. And liberals point this out all the time. Like you said, they say that, you know, democracy works or whatever, but then they also are quick to point out that Republicans have never won like in the last 8 elections or whatever, they've only won the popular vote twice, or like whatever it is, and like one of those times, like both of those times were Bush, I guess, or one of those times, and the other one was his father, right? So it's like somehow Republicans win the presidency, but then never win the popular vote. Yet liberals want to tell you that we have a democracy. That's not a democracy in any capacity. How is the guy that didn't get the most votes like the leader of the country? Doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, and so on that merit,
Full example. That's like the easiest one to point to.
right,
without having
right.
to,
Well,
an observation.
and on that merit, we're even speaking about it correctly within like the standard definitional basis of the democracy. It's not a democracy because it's a democratic republic, right?
Right.
So,
People point that out as well. So it's like you can't have both. You can't say we have a functioning democracy, but then also say somebody points that out and you say, oh well, it's not actually democracy; it's a representative republic or whatever.
yeah, it's a democratic republic, which is a form of representative democracy.
Right.
So I agree with that. Okay, so now then we have to say, because I believe, then if we're going to continue using the correct terms, which we may as well, as to the extent that we can, the representative democracy is clearly not functioning now. I believe that's also an easy argument. And then would we be willing to argue as well that historically the representative democracy has been like farcical or illusory? And I think we would, right?
Well, yeah. I mean.
Okay, so let me just re-ask the question. Yeah, okay. I'll just re-ask.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just re-asking the question then, but now we're just replacing it with representative democracy. So why is it illegitimate now? Why was it, and then why historically?
Well, that's still the same answer that it's always been. Like, it's never worked, and it still doesn't work today. So, but yeah, like all the founding fathers, and the first like session of Congress were all slave owners, but like only 1% of the population owned slaves. And now to this day, like all of the Congress people and the president are millionaires, if not.
Well,
I guess not billionaires. They're all at least millionaires.
It's half of Congress are millionaires.
Right, but not half of American citizens are millionaires. So they've just reframed it. It used to be they were all slave owners. Now it's just they're all really wealthy.
Right. Well, and
different terminology, same exact concept.
Basically, I mean, the master-slave relationship is clearly, in some sense, preserved, especially for the bottommost rung of the workers in this country who have been sacrificed for the economy. I mean,
the Democrats are just like basically middle managers. People often call them the managerial class.
Right, and they
can clearly govern better than Republicans, and they point that out.
I don't know about that. Like
you don't know if they govern better than Republicans? I'm pretty sure they do. That's like an objective fact. That's not like even me being like biased. Cause I don't even like Democrats. That's not me being biased. It's just like a clear observation that they do know how to govern better than Republicans do.
I guess I'll ask you what you mean when you say this, because my impression, I just might be like understanding this in the wrong way. Like the way I'm thinking about it is they don't get anything done legislatively, so I don't know what it means. Like how
state legislatures do get things done. Like
Democratic state legislatures.
Right. I mean, we're not talking about the national apparatus because that doesn't, everybody knows that doesn't work. That doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. So like
even the House. I mean, even look at the House though. Like, ignore the Senate. The House of Representatives pass stuff all the time. with a
True.
Democratic majority. And
Right.
most of the stuff that passes is like popular things.
True.
So at the end of
Um,
the day, Democrats know how to pass legislation, even if it's not legislation that people want. Like they quickly mobilized to ban plastic straws in like California, and ban the giant cups at Circle K in New York. Like it's not things people want, but it's still governing. They know how to do things. Whereas Republicans literally just get in there and then just like trade stocks and enrich each other, and then tell you to go die for the economy.
well, and the Democrats go in and trade stocks and enrich each other as well. And now they're starting to
they
tell
don't-
you to go die for the economy. Obviously.
Yeah, that's just electoral politics. But yeah.
Right.
But I mean, at this point, do you really need a mandate at this point to tell you to wear a mask, or do you just do it because you're supposed to? Like 2 years into this, we don't
Interesting.
need mandates anymore.
Interesting though, because I remember before the mandate went up, especially in Arizona, I was walking around with a mask for like I think weeks before most other people were. But then when that mandate hit, I saw the mask wearing just like shoot way up, and I felt so insulted and belittled about my species because I was like, "You fuckers needed a law. You fuckers needed a law to tell you that this was
Not a law, it's a mandate, but yeah.
well, it was technically a law, but it wasn't. I mean, neither.
It wasn't
Well-
a bill. It was it's more of an executive order. Than
Well,
is
it
a
was
law.
in our case, it was the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, and it was by law under their authority, or it was supposed to be. But it may differ from place to place.
You never seen
but
Schoolhouse Rock?
Either way, the mandate or law was not enforced. Either way, it was like toothless, utterly the whole time running. And that same with the lockdowns, same with most restrictions or whatever in this country that were, so burdensome to people that it's ruined everybody's lives. But it's like we didn't even try to do it legitimately. I mean, if the I know people would take issue with it. I'm not a tanky or like an ML or anything like that. But if the Chinese were to look at our lockdown, they'd be like, they would laugh. I mean, they did. They probably did laugh. They're like, "You called that a lockdown? Like that's absurd. It's just circus chaos. We call this a lockdown."
Right. We didn't enforce anything.
Like, yeah, we just don't enforce jack shit. So like, mandate we didn't enforce. So like, when the mandate came about, people started wearing masks, and I just looked at that like, you guys needed a fucking mandate. Like, that's just sad. It was just sad. It's still sad, obviously. It's very sad. It's even more sad now because there are like 3,000 deaths a day, as I was saying, and then people are like, "I'm done." You know what? I've decided this is over. Well, like actually, the corporate media decided it's over for people, and people are like, I mean, happy to oblige and go along with that because, like, yes, everybody's tired, quote quote, of like these disruptions to our lives. It's like, that's not how this works. Whatever. I don't know. I'm ranting.
I mean, we're all burnt out, but that's because we should have been done with this years ago, months ago at least.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna be more burned out the more we botch this because it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get needlessly worse. There's gonna be a lot more death and destruction of people, a lot more human carnage, and then
Entropy is going to take over eventually,
well,
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the healthcare system is very strained. Like all the kinds of shit that's running up against workers, in basically every sector, is hitting them very hard because they have assholes to care for who are like fighting them, and I mean they're overburdened and they've got skeleton crews just like every other industry, and they're leaving because it's too much stress, and the education system is breaking down similarly because we're trying to break that. I don't know. Man. Yeah, I mean, when you say entropy's like gonna kick in, I mean it's like if the if truly when the Fed hikes the interest rates to try to combat inflation, and that just hurts people more. It's just like, what are we doing? Like it just seems like things are literally trying to spiral out of control. But I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I want to say shit can't get worse, but it can totally get worse, and it will.
Oh, we've got someone, Guru PHCVB
Yeah.
farm.red.
We got somebody in the chat, and we also got a like on the video.
We have 2 likes on the video. We're
Oh,
chilling.
really? I only see one. I guess I'm lagging.
Were you ever, not that you have to, and this is totally tangential, but were you ever gonna pull up one of your games, or were you just gonna stay on your PS menu?
Yeah, I mean I could, but I thought we were just chatting.
We are just chatting. I
didn't know we had anything prepared.
We only had a few things prepared.
Yeah, I figured for next time I could play something.
Oh, for sure.
I've been playing all day and I'm tired, but I'm fine just chatting for now.
Excellent. Okay, and that also lets me know, because then I can just like probably cover that up to there. More screen space. Yeah. Also, another thing, if we didn't mention this, in terms of the illegitimacy of the representative democracy, I would say that the fact that there are so many things that so many of the American people want, like the basic Bernie Sanders spiel about how everybody wants Medicare for all, and everybody wants term limits for senators, and everybody wants clean water, and just all that crap. And that, I mean, how many decades has that kind of thing been true, and how many decades has Congress not delivered on that sort of thing?
Not everybody wants term limits for senators.
It's like 70% of people.
Is it?
To my understanding, it is.
Is it though? Let's find out. I'm curious.
That's what I was under the impression it was a very high, confluence of agreement or something like that.
Yeah, I don't see anything immediately. I don't know if anybody's ever polled on it, honestly.
I thought okay.
There's a bill in the Senate about it.
Really?
Yeah. But it would need 2/3 of the, basically it's an amendment. It'd have to be like an amendment to the Constitution. So it'll never happen. The same way it was like an amendment to the Constitution for the presidential term limits. But yeah, I don't see anything about yeah, I don't see any polling on it.
Do you think? Now I'm just gonna say something inflammatory for the internet here. That if and when Putin potentially invades Ukraine and some of that electronic cyber warfare begins, do you think any of that's going to extend over to us? Do you think they'll go there?
Okay, first of all, I found something that says 82% of Americans want term limits.
Hey, see what I'm saying? I gave you the conservative estimate. Look at me.
It's actually from the like Senate.gov. says they did.
Oh
a
my
poll.
god, like
It
their
was
own,
82% of people.
like they'll tell us like what we know you want this, but
Oh
we're
no!
not.
So somebody wrote a letter to Congress. So the
Oh,
letter is
okay.
on like Senate.gov.
Okay, I thought it was them publishing it. Like, yeah, here you plebes. Like,
Yeah, it says
we.
yeah, it's basically a letter. It says like in fact, according to the last 5 national polls on this issue, 82% of Americans want term limits. That includes support from 89% of Republicans, 76% of Democrats, and 83% of Independents. Yeah, it says, I come to you with a message from the American people. We demand term limits for members of Congress. I don't know.
Just incredible.
I have mixed feelings about it.
About
I
term
wouldn't be
limits?
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't think it's 100% necessary.
It's not one
In
of the
fact, I think
biggest
it'd
problems.
be incredibly harmful if you did that.
Why do you think it would be harmful? I mean, the intent, as I understand it, is
Look how dysfunctional Congress is now.
yeah.
Like how long? Okay, we'll pick a number. How long do you like? If
Well,
they were to do term limits, how long do
the
you
idea is that it's so dysfunctional because they're constantly campaigning, because they're always trying to get
Well, yeah,
reelected.
but right, but like,
So if there's
so
no
again, pick a
reelection,
number for your,
then you're there to do your job.
but they don't. They already don't do their jobs. So why would they start doing their jobs if they're term limited?
Well, they don't.
That,
Well, like the
that gives them more
idea
incentive
is supposedly that they don't do their job because they're constantly raising money to like apply for the job again.
Well, sure, but they could also raise money to get their replacement in there, who's going to do the exact same thing they were already doing, which was nothing. And then you just have to you just stall Congress even further until people like AOC and Ilhan Omar are term limited out, and now you have 0 progressives in Congress versus 6 or whatever.
Yeah, it would probably end up.
It would
I
literally
mean,
make things worse. It would just 100% make things worse.
I think I don't know. It's almost like whatever policy you put in, like I feel like the particularly autocratically leaning Republicans will just be able to exploit it better than will, you know.
They did to, I mean, look what they did to Obama when he was in his second term. They literally shut down his entire agenda for 4 years because they knew he was term limited and there was nothing he could do at that point. Like, Congress was owned by the Republicans, so they could literally just not do anything for 4 years, regardless of their own term limits. So that's what's called like lame duck. Lame duck period applies to, like, when nobody's up for re-election, there is no incentive to do anything because nobody's getting reelected anyway. So where's the incentive to pass good things?
So my impression of the lame duck, I mean, yeah, they can't. I thought it was like simultaneously there are some things they can't do, but there are some ways in which they can be more. They can afford to be more bold because they don't have to worry about expending like their political capital as well.
Well, that's like a pipe dream now. I mean, like look at Biden's first year, and then extend that to every member of Congress for all eternity. Like when there is no incentive, that's why nothing happens. Like like shit always happens on election years, not like the first year, and they just kind of wait, and then once election time comes up, then they start doing stuff, because now they have to prepare for re-election and have things to talk about. Like, see, I did these things for you. But then if it's like, okay, well, I'm not getting reelected. Obviously, I don't want to pass these things because I'm getting money from these corporations not to pass them. So
Right.
I'm just not going to
Well,
show up.
also they can use it as an issue to campaign on, though.
Sure. Yes. Well, that's like the whole abortion thing.
Right.
Like the pro-life versus pro-choice.
Well,
Like
now
they'll never
they'll be
take it away because
campaigning on it forever now.
Yeah. Same with like Social Security. Like Social Security is not going anywhere because if they take it away, then they have no talking point in terms of what are they going to take away next. There's nothing left to take away.
Yeah, exactly. There's a Solzhenitsyn quote about that actually, where it's like, once you've deprived a person of everything, they're no longer under your control.
Yeah.
Which is
Even look at
to an extent true.
Look at 2017 with the Affordable Care Act, where they tried to repeal it. You really think they would not have repealed that if there were term limits, or if people were not up for re-election, they 100% would have repealed the Affordable Care Act. The reason why
so
it
you're
failed
saying
was because
they had to keep it around because they didn't want to be the person to.
you don't want to be the guy that takes away 3 million people, or healthcare from 3 million people, or whatever it was, 30 million people. But if there is no incentive to, there is no incentive for you to get reelected, and you're just taking lobbyist money, and the lobbyists want you to get rid of it, well, you're going to get rid of it. That's my only point, basically. That's why I'm opposed.
It's a good point. I hadn't considered some of that stuff nearly as much as I should have. I would think, judging by what I've heard.
And I mean, if people wanted term limits, they wouldn't have elected FDR 4 times in a row. There's also that point too.
So and that's what you've said before as well, is that they saw FDR and they're like, okay, we got to put kibosh on all this progressivism, and we basically agreed. I mean, the 40s was basically the last major time this country did anything, progressive.
Yeah. And that amendment got ratified overnight. When Congress wants to do something, they can mobilize all members to get it done as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah. Well, they also, it's the filibuster is always such a problem, and the parliamentarian are a problem. It's until you're doing something that's in line with the corporate agenda and everybody magically agrees, and none of that matters, because it's oh yeah, this is the stuff we just passed, we just do this. No worries there.
Which is Britain.
Have
you ever heard of the parliamentarian before last year?
I heard of the parliamentarian and the bird rule. I feel like at some point during the Obama years, if not before then, but I wouldn't remember if I had heard before then. I very loosely paid attention to some of the Bush shit, but I didn't understand as much what was going on at the time.
Yeah, I'd literally never heard of I didn't even know we had a parliamentarian.
Yeah. Why is this no one?
Yeah, it says they campaigned on. So he took office in 1945, and then died 3 months later. And so Truman became president, and then 1946 there were midterm elections, and Republicans campaigned on putting in term limits for the president. And then Congress won, or Republicans won Congress in January 1947, and it was ratified by April. The last state to ratify it was in April, or May 23rd, 1947. So it had already passed by that point. So it didn't take them long.
They got right to work on that shit.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so yeah, the ratification process. Okay, it took a couple of years, but they got the ball rolling pretty quickly. The first state ratified it in March 31st, 1947, and then it was completed on February 27, 1951. Basically before the end of Truman's term. Or 1951, sorry. February 27, 1951. It also says the repeal effort was supported by Mitch McConnell and Harry Reid at one point in the 2000s.
Mitch McConnell is a nebulous being, but mostly he's a Grim Reaper. He's a Lich Lord. He's a bag of flesh being held together by dark magic of some kind that is like specifically purposed for tearing apart our species and our livable conditions on this planet. You know?
Yeah. He's an American hero.
True, honestly. I mean, he's. Think of how he will be hailed. Like, I know you'll agree the liberal media is gonna suck his cock when he dies.
Probably.
They absolutely will.
Well, they'll rehabilitate him and be like, oh, he stood up to Trump when it mattered most, or something. They'll completely retcon his history.
Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, he preserved democracy. He was one of the most, they'll like factually state he was one of the most influential senators as it came to appointment of judges. That was one of his major goals. Legislatively, he was like a
Very successful.
oh yeah, he was a titan in terms of his goddamn like negotiation and his long-standing, holding of the majority position. Oh my God, what a god! Oh, they're gonna be like, we miss him, and then sure enough, they're gonna replace him with some asshole who like manages to be way crazier and worse and more effective. We're like, we miss Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, they're gonna go like hard right. I don't know who they're gonna pick. It's probably gonna be like Josh Hawley or something. He's gonna be the next Republican majority leader.
Josh Hawley, the populist.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing Republicans are good at is picking really young people to replace their really old people, who will then serve for another like 50 to 60 years, and you can't get rid of them.
Unlike Nancy Pelosi, who's like literally slurring her mind out in front of everybody, like, we need a strong Republican Party now.
Yeah, she's like drunk as fuck all the time. It's honestly
It's
a vibe.
It's like
Not gonna
Janine
lie.
Pirro on Fox News. Sloshed out of her mind.
I wish I could be that drunk all the time. Can't do it anymore.
Incredible.
This isn't very leftist content. You're commanding an army.
No, it's totally leftist. They're a collective. They're a collective army. They're all like brothers.
Murdered. Jeez.
This is totally leftist. What could be more leftist than
Street Journal.
than the Wall Street Journal? The Wall Street Journal, my favorite op-ed was from Michael Pence, just about how there is no second wave of the pandemic. Oh, what a god, Michael Pence.
Another national treasure.
Really. And oh, they're gonna say he preserved democracy too. They already do. They like totally give him creds for that. Like the linchpin that saved it all. Without him, we would be in the throes of fascism right now. Like we're totally not headed there anyway.
Believe in fascism.
You don't believe in fascism?
Leftists love to call everybody a fascist.
No, fascism is real, I assure you.
Yeah, but if
That's
you say it enough times, it stops being real.
no.
If
You're doing all
everybody's
right.
a fascist, then nobody's a fascist, right? Isn't that how it works?
No. Fascism is a real problem. Believe it or not.
Even know the difference between fascism and socialism?
Oh, absolutely, I do. You knew?
No,
Of course you
enlighten me.
do. Of course you do. Don't lie to me.
Pretend I don't, and
Yeah,
explain it to me
yeah. So
for the
socialism.
stream.
Yeah, socialism is where the means of production and distribution are owned by the public, right? So like a cooperative or something like that kind of arrangement, where like everybody owns the land, everybody owns the critical resources, everybody gets a say. Like maybe you all get a
That's communism, actually, not socialism. But go on.
they're the same thing.
No, but again, go on.
They're the
Continue.
same thing.
In
Marx and
in this
Engels
conversation,
literally
sure.
say they're the same thing. How are they not? Okay, now correct me.
Finish the. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I said go
Well,
on. How is that different from fascism?
fascism is where it's basically an oligarchy, but it's like a nationalistic one that usually has a like racially supremacist bent to it. That uh, directs the use of resources from the top down by a supreme, usually machoistic leader, who, and it's a controlled economy, which socialism doesn't necessarily need to be. Fascism typically does, and that's why like the Soviet Union isn't really communist, or one example or one of many reasons why it couldn't really rightly be called communist. It was more of a fascist or totalitarian thing because it wasn't an egalitarian system. Yeah.
I see.
What say you?
I actually don't know. So you're saying America's not fascist yet?
America, you could make arguments for it. I mean, we definitely have fascistic tendencies, yeah, but technically we're an oligarchy right now, or plutocracy, which is a kind of oligarchy. But,
Wait, so what's the difference between socialism and communism, in your view?
there isn't one.
Oh.
They're essentially the same thing. At least that's how Marx and Engels put it, as far as I understand.
I see. This is why I'm not a
I
Marxist.
mean, like communism. I mean, there's a difference in insofar as the actual goal of communism, if it is, a moneyless, stateless, classless society, that is not necessarily socialism at all. It is arguably unachievable, and that would be a pretty principal difference in, I think, how we can understand socialism, because it's still gonna have hierarchies. I mean, you have a manager even at the workplace in a co-op, but you might vote for that manager, or you vote for your board of directors. Like you try to extend the power of democracy to other
Dictatorship of the proletariat or something.
yeah, like everybody gets a say. Like you your board of directors just doesn't completely get to bend you over the barrel and cut you endlessly, because you at least get to choose who they are, and then you're just subject to all the problems that democracy has, which are many. Like we are replete with those kinds of problems, so that's not a small issue.
So what's the role of private property in socialism
Um,
versus communism?
well, in communism, you don't have that, and I think there are varying ideas in socialism. I mean, and communism, frankly, because neither of these are really a monolith when you talk to people who call themselves one of these things. But yeah, it ranges from not having any private property at all to everybody gets a cut of the land, like a Georgist kind of belief. It's like everybody owns the land, because the land is not something that we created. I think most socialist ideals seek to undo the rentier economy, where it's just people benefiting off of you know rents and not labor wages of their own. They're just extracting rents off of everything that they can possibly extract rents out of. Even the air that we breathe, essentially, and the water that we drink, or de facto rationing on energy and stuff like that. But yeah, so role of private property. So I doubt you'd find a uniform position on that among all socialists. But I would think that the communist solution would be to just abolish it completely, and then the socialist solution would be probably some means of distributing it amongst people. Everybody owns stuff, everybody owns adequate stuff, and probably not, I don't know, maybe probably closer to subsistence economy ideals, degrowth, and not just yoking ourselves to pure economic greed and interminable growth strategies, but actually maximizing for human health and well-being, and for the well-being of the planet and the environment, etc.
What about in fascism? Do they have private property in that?
They do, but it can be revoked. I mean, just like with our government, though. I mean, we can seize stuff when we decide to, or when the U.S. government decides to. It can seize stuff. It does, to my understanding. In a Stalinist regime, everything basically belongs to the government that you make. You keep very little. In socialism, I mean, most forms of it. I mean, you're giving up probably most of the stuff you make, but you're getting a lot out of it, and you're getting a lot from like what other people are producing, too, and people aren't like hopefully like the ideal is people aren't hoarding it. Like I think the challenge is going to be keeping oligarchy and autocracy out of any um, system of organization for your society. And I'll probably want to read up on like the positions of socialists on private property. I'm sure I'll learn a lot. But that's the
See,
gist
I
of
thought
what I would imagine.
socialism. I thought socialism was when no house and no car.
Right, right. That's true. Socialism is also when you get shot and 1 million people die.
$1 million. That's it.
Yeah.
COVID killed 1/10 of the people that Stalin killed. Actually, that's not
Because
true. What's the
COVID,
global death rate for COVID?
it's like 5.6 million people have died from it
Oh,
globally.
okay. So about half the number of people that Stalin killed.
Well, Stalin could be like at least indirectly attributed with like 20 million deaths at least.
Damn.
Probably more than that, honestly. Because that's honestly just the World War II figures.
Yikes.
Yeah, Stalin killed a lot of people. I mean, if you believe Solzhenitsyn, and we're not supposed to because his statistics are really messy, and it's a partially fictitious book. Um, but yeah, Stalin killed a lot of people. Basically, what it boils down to. I mean, Solzhenitsyn was willing to claim like 100 million, but that's like Mao and Pol Pot territory.
I don't know if he killed them directly, did he?
He snapped each one of their necks
to-
individually.
I'm about to go full tanky on you.
Please.
Oh, we should probably save that for a time when I'm like more prepared and not half asleep.
Oh, you're actually gonna go tanky on me?
Next session.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're too deep into this one.
I'm scared. Honestly.
For Agit Prop 3.
Yeah.
Tankening.
The tank. Oh, we already have the title. Amazing. It's excellent. I'm truly terrified of getting rolled over by tanks. In our discussions. You're gonna stand Stalin? Is that what's gonna happen?
Maybe. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided which devil I want to abdicate for yet.
It's a scary prospect.
Maybe I'll pick Lenin instead. Lenin's maybe a little bit more reasonable.
Well, he killed a lot
I
of
think that
people
was
too.
that's like World War One though. That's a bit too far back.
Lenin killed a lot of people too.
Right, but did he kill them, or just was he leader of the?
Or was he just there? No,
Yeah.
he killed them. He started actually a lot of the Gulag
I mean,
archipelago as it existed.
Trump didn't kill 625,000 people.
No, Joe Biden killed a good portion of those.
He contributed.
Trump
to
only
the-
killed like 300,000, 325,000 or so.
Yeah.
And like you said, he contributed to their deaths. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody forced those people to go out in public and catch COVID. That's 100% your own decision.
Right.
Like Joe Rogan says, what dumb shit were you about to do before his ideas sounded good?
Yeah. Don't listen to me, he says. Which
I mean,
is
it's
a
like an
beautiful
actual.
thing
That's
for
a
him to
good
say.
like. That's like a philosophy that I need to live by from now on.
No, I actually love
Like, when
that.
people pay attention to me, like, what the fuck were you thinking before you started listening to me? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Incredible.
You want my advice? Don't take my advice.
Right. It's a good way to save your ass.
I still have a soft spot for Joe. He tries. He means well. He's dumb.
Is he racist?
Debatable. He's definitely not an ally. But I don't know if I call him racist.
Did you see
This gets back
Crystal's like little
No, I didn't.
montage of him being a leftist?
I did
And
not.
like the very last thing he says, oh, like he's hugging Cornel West. Who Cornel West is one of the most based individuals, by the way, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's cool.
And he's like saying he highly recommends people read Cornel West's book, which I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but he said that because he doesn't see color.
Cornel
He
West.
wasn't like, no, Joe Rogan. Like he wasn't saying, "Oh, you should read this because it's an amazing black author." He was just saying that because he likes Cornel West specifically.
Well, Cornel West is amazing specifically.
Right. He can't be racist. He's got like 2 black friends.
Right, the Andrew Yang take. He's interacted with black people. He can't possibly be racist. Like my guy, you messed up.
Interact with black people all the time.
Like I could name some specific classes of people who interacted with black people all the time and who were very racist. Can you think of any, Andrew?
Cops can't be racist. They literally protect and serve black communities.
Like the shipwrights and the fucking like sailors on the slave ships, like they were racist.
Well, back then race didn't exist, so no, they were not racist. They were fascists, as we've established.
They were fucking monsters.
What are your thoughts on Abraham Lincoln? Was he an American hero, or was he?
Well, he wrote that black people and white people in his mind probably needed to live separately, but he did what he believed was necessary to preserve the union.
Right.
And he did that, and he apparently was correct. And it's a good thing what he did.
You really think so? You
The-
really think preserving? You really think preserving the union was a good thing?
Oh well, not that, but the Emancipation Proclamation specifically.
You mean saying words to a bunch of people?
Well, it did
That was a good thing.
start changing things. It didn't make things better at all.
It did literally nothing other than become a speech that you have to read in high school or middle school.
But the whole like 13th Amendment and stuff.
Which was long after the Emancipation Proclamation. When was the Emancipation Proclamation? Do you know the date on that?
Was it
Black history
18?
class should know this.
Is that 1865?
Oh my!
I mean, like, come on.
Wow. You ever heard of this thing called Juneteenth?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Do you know what that is?
1863.
Do you know what that is?
Well,
Like you just
Juneteenth is because of yeah, I looked up the Emancipation Proclamation. I said it was 65, so I was wrong. It was 63. But Juneteenth is the commemoration of Black Wall Street.
First of all, it was 1862. But
What?
it was effective 1863, but the speech was 1862.
Okay.
This is what I mean when I say it was literally nothing. It was just him saying words. That's it. It had no like, I mean, there weren't even like cameras back then, so it's not like it was a live broadcast. It was literally just him saying words, and somebody wrote it down, and they called it Emancipation Proclamation.
Well, the 1863 part, that's the good part.
Yeah, that's just when it. Yeah, that's just when it went into effect. But like January 1st. But anyway, what is Juneteenth? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's the commemoration of the destruction of Black Wall Street.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, it's not at all. It was the day that the Union Army made it to Texas to free the last slaves. On June 19th, 1865. The day that slavery truly ended, not the whitewashed version of 1862 or 63 according to you.
Why am I conflating that with the Tulsa Race Massacre?
Because of your implicit biases about Black history.
I think it's because of
It was also on the same day, but it was a totally different year.
Okay.
It was like maybe 35.
It's on the same day. That's absolutely why. Then at least it's
yeah.
At least
it was also on. Was that the Tulsa bombings? Tulsa massacre? Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Tulsa. Yeah, the Tulsa Race Massacre.
Yeah. And actually, it took place on May 31st, so it's not even the same day. So my original statement was correct. It's because you have implicit biases about Black history.
Amazing. Well, apparently you didn't know what it was either.
I knew it was yeah, but we weren't talking about that. I knew it was around the same time. I just didn't know the exact day. It was also 1921.
Hey, we all have implicit biases about Black history, I think.
I mean, I guess, but I know a little bit more than you do.
No, you absolutely do. And it stands to rights.
You just know the buzzwords, like Black Wall Street.
You
know who calls it Black Wall Street? White people who have to associate everything with whiteness.
Tulsa Race Massacre. I also said that.
Well, yes, that was after I pointed out that that's what it was actually called.
No. I don't know. We'll roll the tape on it. I feel like I definitely put that one out there as well.
Well, you said it was commemorating the day of destruction of Black Wall Street.
Right. That's what I said first, for sure. But I think I said the other one afterward, but not necessarily specifically because it was like more correct in that instance. I don't know. Like, is it more correct? I don't know. I don't know. like what's wrong with Black Wall Street? I mean, black. It's like why this is one of the major reasons why
It's
there
associating
isn't
it with
intergenerational wealth.
right. Well, again, it's associating it with whiteness.
How?
If we're gonna get woke about it, because Wall Street is a white thing. It was like
Oh,
100% a
well,
white
that's
male thing.
well, it is a white male thing because they fucking destroyed the the financial like elements that were rising up in the black community. I mean, it's like one
I'm
of
saying
the
calling it like Wall Street is already a thing,
yeah.
and so the best they can do for black people is call it Black Wall Street. That is that is the definition of whiteness. Like you take something that was already existent in white culture and then slap black in front of it and then say that it's black culture.
I guess. I mean, white people are more likely to just steal your culture in general and say it was their culture all along. Like all
It's a
your
different concept.
yeah, for sure.
Like even like calling us like African Americans. That's also like whiteness because I'm not African. I've literally never been to Africa. I'm 100% American.
Right.
Or like even calling me Black American.
Or same with like a lot of minority groups obviously experience that sort of thing. Like Asian people mention getting asked like, "Hey, where are you from?" It's like I'm from America. Implicit biases all over the place. What are your thoughts on affirmative action?
What are my thoughts on it? I don't really have thoughts on it. It's probably a good thing overall. But I mean, this goes back to like the subject of mandates. Like the fact that we need to make that a law is kind of sad. But obviously, I'm not opposed to it. I guess I should ask you, can you define what you think affirmative action is before I answer whether or not I'm opposed to it?
I mean, my understanding of it is that we're trying to like basically set up like minimum quotas for like letting minority groups like black people and native people into school.
So again, you just know the buzzword. You don't actually know what you're talking about when it comes to
So
black issues.
so what is it?
It's when let's say two people apply for the same college and they have the exact same grades and like the exact same qualifications. One of them's white, one of them's a minority. You pick
Well,
the
they have a
minority.
diversity quotient though. Like it's like to a limit.
It's not just an
They
arbitrary
don't they
like
don't they don't
it has
pick
to
the
meet
they don't pick the minority person every single time though. They do it to the limit of a quota.
sure, but I'm saying it's not just like an arbitrary like meeting some quota. There are criteria for that quota to be met.
Yeah, it's just that they are in a minority group.
Right. Well, people often leave out the part about the fact that it's based on equal merit and not just like they're just picking black people over or Hispanic people over white people as it's typically framed. So that's why I asked you to clarify. Or like if you ask me like what are your thoughts on defund the police?
Like, what are my thoughts on defund the police?
Well, like if I ask you that question, what's your first like How would you approach that question?
that it was a shitty PR decision to call it that when they're not
So you
even
don't. But do you know what it means?
advocating for that.
You know what
Yeah,
well, they
it
were
means
actually.
well, it depends. Like, I mean, it's not. I don't believe that's a monolithic movement in this country to defund the police. Like, because there are some people saying like they don't want to just disestablish police departments. They wanted to like reallocate funding to other services, you know, like social services and so forth.
What does
Um,
defund mean to you?
means take away money.
Okay. So then you don't know what defund the police means, because it has a very specific meaning.
So what does it mean?
Things have meaning, John. It's not just whatever you feel like it means. It has a meaning. I do
So-
agree that it's a stupid phrase, but it has a very specific meaning, and it's what you said it means. But then you said that that's not what it means.
What are you talking about? What do you mean? I said that. I said
Defund
it's,
the police means to take their funds and put them towards other programs. Those things are simultaneous. Like, it's not like one or the other, or like you can't stop it at just take away their money. The key thing there is to allocate that money elsewhere, not just cut their funds. But like most people stop at they hear defund and they go, oh, that means like cutting the police department, like getting rid of the police. That's not what that means. It means taking their
Well-
funds and using them
well,
for
some
other
people do want to get rid of the police. I mean, some people
Yeah,
also.
but that's abolish. That's
Yeah,
abolish.
that's
the police.
abolish the
Defund
police for sure. Yeah.
But I'm not
Well,
asking you about abolishing the police. I'm asking
like
about
yeah,
defunding.
like I said, it's about reallocating the funds to fucking you know, other services so that the cops aren't having to do, you know, all of these jobs that they're not even equipped to do,
Right.
and so
let me
that we
ask you
don't
again.
over police.
So let me ask you again. What are your thoughts on defund the police? Do you support it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also think I don't think that when we do put money toward police forces that we should use it the way we do. Like, I think we should give cops probably more training, actually. Like how we have very sophisticated rules of engagement when we're in other countries, but we don't over here, and we treat
Sure.
our own civilian domestic population like we're fucking animals, which we are, of course, technically, but you know what I mean? And we, you know, account for every bullet, supposedly, when we're overseas, or we're supposed to. So I do think we should put more money, actually, in being able to do that. But I also do believe in reallocating the funds to, you know, make it so that we have social workers and, I don't know, and like community services and opportunities going on so that we don't have to do all of the policing.
So short answer is yes, you do support it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Well, I would like. Yes, but I would do it, but I would also give police forces more money, but I would use it in very specific ways that I don't think most people
So you
would.
don't support defunding the police. You want to give them more money.
Well, I want to give them more money to do more training and psychological evaluations and shit, so that we don't have psychopaths who are like overly traumatized policing people, and so that, like I said, they can have sophisticated rules of engagement like we do
Yeah.
overseas, but not over here.
You can't train away traumatic trauma and racism.
Well, that's why you also need money for the psychological evaluations, so that you can get rid of those people. But that is going to be harder if you defund them, unless that's part of the apparatus that you did fund in the process of defunding them. So, it all depends.
Well, I mean, if you're reallocating the resources to actual mental health professionals, why do you have to train the police to do that? I thought the goal
No,
was
no,
to
you're not
not
training the
look at-
police to do, you're not training the police to do the psychological evaluations, but like it just depends on how the money is allocated and used. I mean, that's a huge problem,
So
like
what do
everywhere.
they use what do you think they use the money for right now?
Fucking like militarization out the ass. They're buying like big ass half tracks and all kinds of fancy like weaponry and big ass vehicles and like all of their unnecessary like all the damages they do. I mean, all kinds of shit, all kinds of wasteful shit, but primarily militarization.
Right. Why do you think wealthy neighborhoods have smaller police budgets?
Because they have less crime.
Well, I mean that'll lead to some circular logic, but
Well, that's what. Okay, they have less crime that people notice,
well,
and it's
not
by
even
the
that, though.
system. What?
I said that's not even that though either. But
I mean, they do
then
like
why are there high? Okay, let me ask you that then. Why are there high crime rates in places with large military or large police budgets?
because those communities have been completely uninvested in, and there are no opportunities legitimately in those places, or
Right.
very few comparatively.
I see.
What?
No, I agree. I was just wondering what your thoughts were.
I see.
You know how public schools are funded?
By property values, taxes. So it's fucked up.
Yeah, that checks out as well. What do you think about the fact that the majority of police officers live outside of the area that they are supposed to like their jurisdiction? They live
Obviously,
outside of
that's
that region.
pretty dumb. Obviously, that is pretty dumb. That is, I mean, I guess it's not obvious is the problem. I mean, the founding fathers had this issue too because they're like, we hold these truths to be self-evident. It's like, you idiots. If this were self-evident, people would have done this before.
You wouldn't have to write it down on paper. Or whatever the Constitution is made out of.
Like papyrus or whatever the fuck they were using at the time.
Yeah. You said you've never played Final Fantasy VII, right?
Right.
Yeah, that game's got a lot of agitprop in it.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the like?
It's like anti-corporate, anti-capitalist agitprop.
Really?
No pro. Well, there's a little bit of pro-communist agitprop in there, but like workers' rights and co-ops and shit. They talk about that a little bit.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's pretty based.
It is super based.
We can make a stream out of it. That's what I was saying. That like I asked you about it.
Yeah.
We'll do Agit Prop 7, Final Fantasy 7 playthrough.
Yeah, you'll have to take me on a journey.
Yeah. I'll take you on a JRPG journey.
Yeah.
Your gateway.
Oh God. I'm not sure I'm ready to get into Final Fantasy. I'll be honest. A
That's
lot.
understandable. It is a lot. Yeah. Don't worry. This is the modern version, so it's not turn-based. It's a little bit more action-oriented. And it's fully there's like full dialogue, but it's still a classic. The original's a classic. As a gateway, the modern remake is pretty good. I forgot how much of the, because I can't read, so I forgot like how much of the dialogue and the plot was centered around like, fuck the corporations.
Excellent.
We're gonna blow up the entire world to save the people or something. Some stupid bullshit like that.
Kind of like a Don't Look Up sort of thing, almost.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go like, imagine you're playing the role of Thanos, but you're way too invested in the Stockholm syndrome that you can relate to it.
You can relate to being Thanos.
Yeah. Because you see it from his perspective.
I don't know.
Like the same reason that people like Iron Man in like his movies, even though he's like literally one of the worst people on Earth in terms of what he did, like all the issues. I don't know if you've seen the Marvel movies.
No, I
Probably
haven't really watched them.
Yeah, I don't blame you either.
I feel like they're
Basically,
pretty vapid, but I don't know. I could be not giving them
Yeah.
a fair shake, perhaps.
Well, I mean, they're just like, they're action superhero movies. They're just loud and lots of explosions with a little bit of comic relief. They're not terrible, and I enjoy them, but like I'm not super invested in them like some people are. Some people like make it a personality, like they do like Harry Potter or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know those people for sure.
But yeah, like Tony Stark is supposed to be like a hero, but he's kind of a terrible person. And
Right.
pretty much,
Well, we like anti-heroes. I mean, it's like Rick
yeah,
Sanchez.
two out of the three Avengers movies are a direct result of stuff that he was doing.
Oh.
That like put people over. Like the main villains of two of the Marvel movies are direct results of shit that he was fucking around with.
See. That's
Yeah, so like if he just,
problematic.
yeah. Well, that's an example of that's also like an example of like agitprop because he's just a billionaire, an out-of-touch billionaire with way too much time on his hands.
And Elon Musk is basically trying to beat him.
Yeah, right. So it's like our society props him up as the hero. Like Iron Man's supposed to be the hero of the film, especially like I assume you're not gonna watch them.
Probably
And
not.
at this
Probably
point,
not.
if you do care, considered spoilers. But he dies at the end of like he basically sacrifices himself to kill Thanos.
Okay, I think I saw that part. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so they make him like they turn him into a martyr, but like
Or,
literally
but
it's the
didn't
best thing that's happened because
doesn't he come back though, or did he die?
no, he's like dead. He's
Oh
gone. There's a new
shit.
Iron. Yeah, they replaced him with a new. I mean his IRL his contract was up, and he was getting older. So he didn't want to he didn't want to play the role anymore anyway.
I see.
So they killed him off as part of the script.
I
But like they killed
see.
off a lot of people and brought pretty much all of them back, including the Black Panther. But he died IRL, so now they have to make a new. They have to like retcon that in the story.
Fuck.
Because at the end of Infinity War, there's the like he does the snap.
Right. And
Thanos does
half
the
the
snap.
people
Feels
go
like,
away.
right, including like half of the superheroes. Like Peter Parker dies.
Right. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Yeah, most of the Guardians of the Galaxy dies. Vision dies. Well, Vision dies anyway, but even before like the snap. and I think, well, I guess the only ones left are like Thor and Captain America. But yeah, Black Panther dies, but then they all come back at the end of at the end of Infinity War, when they find the cure or whatever, or not cure, but like they introduce time travel, and then they go back in time and stop it from happening. It's really stupid. But yes,
Don't
Iron
they
Man
see?
dies at the end, and he's supposed to be the hero. But it's like, thank God, finally he's dead. Maybe Earth can have some peace now.
That stupid fuck like created so many problems.
Yeah. Well, he builds. I mean, even in the comics, because like he's the one that builds Ultron. Like the second Avenger movie is Age of Ultron, and it's like a super AI that like learns about itself. It's like it was tasked with like making, like protecting the planet after the alien invasion that occurred in the first Avengers movie. And so like he basically like turns it on, and it's like, hey, go learn about all of human history so you can figure out how to protect humanity. And then naturally it comes to the conclusion that the only way to protect humanity is to kill off all the humans. And so it starts to do that, and then like blows up an entire city. So it's like, yeah, you basically caused all of these issues.
I've
for
heard
everyone.
that plot before.
Yeah, it's a common like
Not
plot,
yeah. I feel it must
like
be.
fucking trope.
Yeah. I mean, humans are pretty bad. I
Yeah.
guess the Matrix kind of does that too, in a way.
Well, again, it's based on the Marvel comics been around like what, the 50s or 60s or something, and that was the plot even back then. So it's just like a video adaptation or adaptation of the original plot. I don't even know if they were even in the 60s, if they were the first ones to use that plot line. I'm sure that's like a human history trope in general.
Right.
Like, we're the virus. We're the bad guys. Nature's healing.
I wonder how long humans have been thinking that we're the bad guys. I mean, well, humans are so. I mean, it's the Homo ad homini lupus. Man is a wolf to man, I guess. So. And you know, it's true. I'm sure any group that has lost or been enslaved or anything like that knows very well man is a horrible thing. What do you think best case scenario for the United States moving forward is?
Best case scenario?
Yeah.
Like realistically, or like literal best case scenario?
Oh, like realistic best case scenario.
Oh. Democrats win the midterms, and we get like 2 more years of pretty much nothing happening. And then 2024, whoever the Republican is wins, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. The Republican wins no matter what.
In 2024, yeah. But best case scenario is that Democrats win the midterms. And then 2024, Republican wins the presidency. Or a Republican steals the presidency, either one. I mean, I don't know if you know where they stand on like the For the People Act anymore. So it's hard to really do any type of. I don't think there is like a best case scenario. I think all those scenarios are pretty terrible.
True, because they just kind of abandoned like even the pretense of democracy.
Yeah, I can't even see them doing anything with the January 6th commission. I'm pretty sure that'll just fizzle out like everything else as well.
Damn, it's a sad prediction, but probably true.
Like the Mueller report, that was pretty much it. Like,
Oh, that was a complete dud,
Dead
even
end.
though he found basically 10 legitimate counts of obstruction of justice, if nothing else.
right.
Not that Republicans will tell you that.
Hey, you ever play Uncharted?
No.
No. Do you know they're making a movie? Do you know what Uncharted is?
No.
I'm pretty sure
What
it's
is it?
like one of those. It's like one of those survival games, I think. Don't
Oh,
take my
okay.
word for that, but yeah, it's like a PlayStation exclusive. But they're making a movie with the guy who plays Spider-Man.
The new guy who plays Spider-Man, the young guy?
Yeah, Tom Holland, whatever his name is.
Sounds like you know what his name is.
It does sound like I know that because I just made that up.
Oh,
But that
that's
is, in fact, his name. So
okay. You made up his real name. Very interesting.
hey, I'm a pro.
I'm proud of you. And I hope you're proud too.
Yeah, I think it's like a. You ever play like Far Cry? Or know what
I've
Far Cry is?
seen some Far Cry played, so that's like an open world. Isn't it like an R? Is it uh? Is it an RPG? I don't know.
Technically, I mean, pretty much every game is an RPG if you stretch the meaning far
I
enough.
mean, that's very true.
But if you mean in terms of like leveling up, like experience points and stuff, yes, it is an RPG in that context. But yeah, I think this is. I think it's similar to that, where they just kind of plop you down in the middle of some uncharted land, and you just walk around and do shit. And there's a plot.
There's a plot.
There is a plot. Yeah, there's like secret organizations and shit, or
Oh,
like a
damn.
tribe. I think one of them takes place on like an island in South America or something. And there's just like a tribe there, and you have to like fuck with them. That's pretty much every Sony game, like PlayStation game. Pretty much the same thing.
Uh, true. I mean, well, they have some real bangers.
I'm not saying they're not bangers. I mean, Uncharted's a great game. Apparently,
Okay,
it's getting its own movie. So.
true. Must be amazing.
And it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in the series. Well, I think one or two of these is a remake or remaster or something. I have to say, this is probably the part of the stream where most people are going to leave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we've exhausted our dialogue for the day.
That's very possible.
Yeah, now we're just hanging out.
Which I'm chilling with.
Yeah, bro time.
Now they can shut us down if they want. We can watch bro
Yeah.
time.
They're silencing us.
Yeah, we can complain about cancel culture. We can say we're being shadow banned. We can say how horrible it is, and how victimized we are.
Our growth rate has been stymied.
Yeah. Stymied growth rates.
Damn, actually, the reviews for this movie are not that great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got 47%. It's not even out yet. I feel like it's one of those things like the critics are really mean to it, and then the fans will go watch it, and it'll be amazing.
Did I just like take control of this map, or do they have another base? Like, I'm afraid I'm gonna end the level before upgrading everybody. Oh no! Don't no! Don't kill it! Don't kill it! Don't kill it! I don't know if they. I don't know if they have. Guys. Upgrade y'all. You guys need to be upgraded. Go explore over here. I have enemies. Okay, there seem to be other archers here. Feel like I. Oh yeah, I should be good to destroy this fate. Hopefully. Oh god. Hopefully I don't waste my opportunity to upgrade it. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, they have a whole ass castle over here. I see. I see. I was a castle of ass. Sounds like a good thing.
It really does. I wonder if I can stream my Switch too. I should try to figure that out next.
Oh, let me see. You have. Oh, you still got the menu. But
Yeah, I'm not playing anything. I mean, I can, but
yeah, you
it's
may
kinda
as well
late.
at this point. Oh,
I don't know
unless
how
you're
late
dead.
they're staying up. But
Good point. Good point.
I suppose I could, because it used to have like when it first came out, it had a demo, Final Fantasy VII. So I could play the demo level, and then you could see what you think of it. If you're even interested in following up on the story.
I've seen some Final Fantasy. There's just so much of it. I'm not sure I could.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they're not. None of them are connected. They're all like their own thing. I don't know why they named them the same game because they're not related.
Oh, because
Very
that
few of
was
them-
the project that saved the studio, right?
Yeah, and then they just like made at this
Everything.
point 16 of them.
Right.
So, and that's just the main series. But yeah, the MMO is really popular, but I've never played it. Like 14. I played all the other ones though. Another good one, and this would get me hate if people were here, if people were hate watching. But another good one is 13, Final Fantasy 13. But that's like that one's a very controversial video game.
Why is that a controversial video game?
Because people like to get mad on the internet about things.
True.
So
That's how
Yeah.
money is made.
true. People used to like they used to complain about how linear it was, where like there's for like 90% of the game you basically walk down the same not the same corridor, but it's like you go from point A to point B and shit just happens and there's no like variability. But those people are being disingenuous because a lot of the Final Fantasies are also like that. The ones that people praise all the time, like Final Fantasy X, like 9 and 10 are both incredibly linear as well. So people just like to hate 13 just because. I think it's because the main character is a woman, and most gamers are misogynists, so
Oh
they
shit.
hate on it just because.
You know, Anita Sarkeesian is actually based, I think, and she got a lot of hate that she didn't deserve. Is kind of what I think about her.
Who's that?
Anita Sarkeesian,
I've heard that name before.
the like feminist lady that all the sexist gamers fucking dunked on for like years during the Gamergate shit or whatever. I probably I don't know enough
Or
about
game.
this to be talking about this honestly, but
Yeah, well, this is the after hours agit. This is
true.
like it's midnight on the Pacific, so now we're at the after hours. Talk about whatever we want. There are no rules after midnight.
But I think my unpopular opinion is Anita Sarkeesian is based. Why?
Was she the journalist? Is that who you're talking about?
I don't know if she's a journalist. I don't know what she is. I think she's just a feminist, a
I have to
lady.
look. Anita Sarkeesian, Canadian American critic. Let's see, Gamergate. I saw her name. Okay, here it is. Gamergate was an online harassment campaign initially conducted through the use of the hashtag Gamergate that promoted sexism and anti-progressivism in video game culture. Beginning in August 2014, no wonder I didn't pay attention because I was already out of high school and doing my own thing at that point. The campaign targeted women in the video game industry, notably game developers Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu, and feminist media critic Anita Sarkeesian. She's kind of hot. I dig it. I'd harass her too, honestly.
Oh yikes!
I'm just kidding. Don't cancel me.
She is based though because also the comment she made about you can digest problematic content. You just have to know it's problematic and like it doesn't excuse you from like thinking about it at all. But you can still enjoy it. Like you can enjoy your life since basically like everything is problematic, so you don't have to like hate everything. I think that's based. That alone is enough to make me say like, yeah, you're probably really cool.
Yeah, I fucked with it. I just remember like the meme where it's like it's about ethics in gaming journalism or something. Of course, it wouldn't be on the Wikipedia page because they're silencing our voices. Oh wait, there it is right there. Never mind.
Silencing us.
The quote is right in front of me. These claims were widely dismissed as trivial conspiracy theories, groundless, or unrelated to actual issues of ethics in gaming. Hell yeah. The most active Gamergate supporters of the most active Gamergate supporters or Gamergaters say that Gamergate was a movement for ethics in gaming journalism, for protecting the gamer identity, and for opposing political correctness in video games, and that any harassment of women was done by others not affiliated with Gamergate.
It was all
In an,
dumb bullshit. They harassed the poor lady.
in an interview with Anita Sarkeesian in The Guardian, Jessica Valenti said that the movement's much mocked mantra, "It's about ethics in journalism," was seen by others as a natural extension of sexist harassment and the fear of female encroachment on a traditionally male space.
Probably
Dude,
true.
men are so weird. What is wrong with us?
Men are weak.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
As Elrond says in The Lord of the Rings, men are weak.
Oh, I'm totally a gamer.
You're a gamer?
I identify with the gamer identity.
The gamer identity.
Yeah. Gamergate is often considered to be a reaction to the changing cultural identity of the gamer.
Oh no.
Fucking hate this website.
I've definitely heard people say though, like, I am a gamer. And I'm just like, oh my fucking.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to turn it into a heroic thing that we're passing the time, fucking. And as I'm doing this, like watching pixels
Video game.
flash.
Yeah. Get so
Okay.
attached. I have a parasocial relationship with all of my video game characters.
Really,
Absolutely.
that seems super healthy, and I'm proud of you.
There's a lot of content on this Wikipedia page.
About Gamergate.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a way bigger thing than I thought it was. Like, I thought we were just like, shooting the shit or whatever. But no, it's a whole thing.
No, it's massive.
Yeah.
It's a big controversy.
There's even stuff in here about like the House of Representatives.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Like there's a whole section. I'm like, there's like a Supreme Court case involved. Jeez. June 2015, the Supreme Court ruled in Alanis v. United States that harassing messages sent online are not necessarily true threats that would be prosecutable under criminal law. And according to Pacific Standard, this poses a further challenge in policing Gamergate-related harassment. However, the court also suggested that if the threats made over social media were found to be true threats, they should be treated the same as threats made in other forms of communication.
Oh wait, that seems like that's
Stupid?
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the reminds you of like the qualified immunity stuff.
It's like it's not a threat unless it's a threat.
Yeah.
That
Like
sounds
they didn't know
strange.
they didn't know they were breaking the law, therefore they weren't breaking the law.
Sounds healthy.
Yeah, that actually checks out. That was in 2014. Yeah, let's see. Oh, well, Final Fantasy 13 came out in 2009. A lot longer ago than I thought it did. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okie doke. Oh, we are winning this one, folks. We are fucking. It took me a couple of attempts, I will admit it, but we are cooking with it this time around. We're making positive improvements. I'm just making comment about how I struggled to beat this level a couple times, but this time it's happening. My army is destroying these peasants.
Proud of you.
I love slaughtering the peasantry. This is truly the after hours, because that's not a leftist thing to say at all. Unless it is, Stalin,
He was like killing farmers. Well, I guess farmers are technically peasants.
They're the peasantry.
Yeah. At least Mao had the decency to kill landlords. You ever played Kingdom Hearts?
Like the first 2 minutes of it, like basically like nothing.
Nice. Yeah. That one doesn't have any agitprop in it, but I do love that game though. That entire series.
It's supposed to be legendary.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know how much longer we're gonna be up doing this, but I'm gonna start a new game on this and just play
Oh,
until
nice.
you tell me to stop.
I'll actually full screen your thing here.
Oh yeah.
So actually, I don't know. Let me check what that looks like on the screen. Pause this. Let me go to mine. Oh, okay.
Does it look bad? Is it
No,
blurry?
no, it's not that. I just need to move some things around.
gonna play on hard mode so you can watch me die. Although maybe not. I might do well. We'll see.
Okay, yours is the bigger of the two right now. Mine is small and in the corner. I'm
Like,
trying to.
we need to find a better way to stream this video for me because it's like way behind. But luckily, I'm watching the TV and not the stream right now. I think the conversation we're having is live, but the video that I see on YouTube is like maybe 30 seconds behind.
Yeah. Oh, the conversation is live, but the video's behind. That's interesting.
Yeah, like the Discord conversation that I'm having with you.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
But,
obviously.
yeah. And
Video
then
I'm seeing on YouTube is
yeah,
way
there's
behind.
a delay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
at
yeah, I
least
don't-
30 seconds.
There's got to be a better way for me to watch the stream than this, but.
Ooh, big green city.
You say green?
Yeah,
It's not green.
it's not.
Green in color. Well,
Oh,
you'll
but
figure
it's
it out.
not. It's
Figure
not
it
like
out.
ecological.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't want to. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'll do my best not to. So you get the full cinematic experience.
That's Cloud.
Yes, it is. He's a mute. He doesn't say words.
Cloud doesn't say anything.
I'm just kidding. That's. Yeah, he says plenty.
Oh.
As always, the villains are not very bright.
They're geniuses. They're sorting.
This is in fact hard mode, but I'm also way overpowered right now. Just putting that out there.
I'm proud of you.
So what's Soldier Boy's deal? Is he one of us now? He's got balls, this, what was his name again?
Cloud Strife.
Right.
And he isn't a soldier anymore. Still, he's the rest of us. I'm glad to have him.
Why aren't I?
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Damn.
I'd say you're not even leading the sample.
Come on, nobody do something this crazy just for money. They may not think you're a true believer, but you know what I think? Not interested. What?
Not interested.
Yes, that's his name.
You better be worth the money. Every last gill.
I'll do my best.
I beat the level.
Nice.
Killed
First
all the
time ever?
castle. No, it's just a hard difficulty. Like, and the way this game does difficulty is just by giving them more resources and making their units better. So it's truly like, it's truly a victory. It's a total victory, as a matter of fact.
Final battle nears. All that lies between Mordor and Minas Tirith is the fortified city of Osgiliath.
You know, Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I am familiar with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm going to Osgiliath to kill all the Gondorians.
Nice.
This is actually an amazing level. It's probably going to be very hard, though, on this difficulty. Damn, you
Wait, is this a
dancing
Lord of the Rings
around.
game?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was like that War of the Worlds game or whatever.
Oh, Warhammer?
Yeah.
No.
So different game?
I'm playing Battle for Middle Earth right now.
Oh, okay. I see now. That makes sense. Also, am I going? No, I'm not. I'm going this way.
Yeah, I like the blue light dancing around with that sword shit.
Oh, thank you. I'm a professional. Quite literally.
Yeah, I get to fight over some bridges right now. I get to kill Gondorians, 100 of them, and then use their heads in the catapults to make them scared. Oh man, so good.
Based as fuck.
It's gonna be hard. This is gonna be so hard.
Reactor number 1.
Soldiers may attack on command, but I hear they make good guard dogs too. Bet you see a few reactors. So how do we
These catapults to kill my own people.
ain't holding out on me, are you? Damn scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little dog?
PTSD is strong.
We can do this with you, or we can do this without you.
Different reactor, different layout.
PTSD is strong.
Never seen one like this, but I'll manage.
Catapults, please don't kill my own people, please, please.
Don't you worry. Biggs will have the door open soon.
It's over.
That's my line.
Oh shit.
He's alone. We can take it. Make it rain.
Let's move.
He always knows just what to say.
Cut it out.
It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the passcodes. Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do? And we're good.
Careful in there. I got this place covered.
I've got too many items.
Looks like the elevator's on another floor.
You're hoarding shit.
Yeah. Well, you also can't use items on hard mode, so I just have 99 of everything.
So, you know Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
Damn, they give us a fuck ton of catapults.
Are you ignoring me?
Tifa and I.
Oh shit. Here comes John. Are you ready?
Am I ready?
Yeah. For some agitprop?
Ooh. I am ready.
This game shaped my personality growing up in middle school.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir. We are currently investigating whether they belong to the group that made the attempt on your life. Rest assured, our inquiries will not take much longer. This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Marco. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Marco is, don't you? Marco is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me! You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the flare crying out in vain? I know you can!
Damn.
Damn straight I do.
Get help.
Damn.
Say that again.
I'd worry less about the planet and more about the next
No fucks given. Fuck the planet, right?
Fuck the planet.
I'm just here for a
Who
paycheck.
cares? No one needs the planet. No one uses that shit.
So extra. Planet is extra, dude.
Just bear with him for me, would you?
Should have asked for more money.
Also vibes.
Barrett Wallace? That's a vibe.
Right? Yeah, I love Barrett. He's awesome. He's a pimp. Apparently he's like 6'8" too. Massive dude.
Make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping. Hey! Just keep those baby blues of yours on me.
I'm gonna fuck this up.
Don't do it, Sean.
She's so proud of me. Oh, shit. I should have gone. Okay, there we go. Fuck. Oh, I made it. That's fine.
I'm glad that's over with. They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. I can wipe out a whole squad in seconds.
We can take this hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
We need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening.
Bring it home. Hey, it's not moving.
Let's pin it down. Give it all you got.
Don't need to tell me twice. Saw it is.
Hurry up.
Nice.
I believe is his name Soken. Who does the music? He's a badass.
Maybe? I used to know the name. Well, it's a different guy now. It was like Ue Matsu or something. Yeah, the music in this game is lit. It's got all the genres. All right. Thank you.
Sure, it wasn't something you ate. Keep it together.
Nice.
Never in doubt.
Wow, so many items that I can't take with me. Wait.
Let's see if little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds. Go on, do the honors. Prove to me you're the man Tifa says you are. That you're one of us.
Never said I was. I'm just here for the paycheck.
Exactly.
Then do the damn job.
Sigma grind set. Fuck the women.
Holy shit. This really is the after hours.
Yeah. I said fuck the women, not the woman. Multiple.
That's better. Because it's
With
all
their
of them.
consent, of course.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I'm fine. What about the timer?
Your call, Merc.
20 minutes. Shit. Okay.
Pretty cocky, ain't you?
No, that's my only choice. Shit. It really is hard mode.
Heads up.
Double crossing. It's got reinforced what? Armor plating.
Lightning magic.
Better win this one for the planet.
I got this.
Hell yeah! You see the damage that did?
Keep it up. A barrier? Never seen this defense system.
Thought you were the expert.
So what's your plan, genius? Bingo. Focus on that cord.
Oh, now he remembers. Don't keep me waiting in suspense, man.
That didn't work either.
Well, I fucked up.
That fuck up is forbidden.
Yeah, I know.
Or go down in flames. It wouldn't be much of a weapon if it went down easy.
Yes. Okay. Damn it. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
That's not good. Probably. Probably a good idea. Fuck. Jesus. Alright, I got this.
Believe in you.
Okay, there we go. There it is. Yay!
Nice.
Of course, it's gonna blow everything up. Take us out with it. Fucking cowards.
You hear that? Damn thing showed you how it's done.
Come on, we've got to move.
20 minutes. So is the plan to ever include anybody else, like, in these podcast things?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure
For sure.
who we can dox, who's like willing to be doxed or whatever.
Yeah, I have a buddy who I've discussed doing something like this with as well. So I'm sure he'd be interested to have some discussions with us, if nothing else.
Yeah, I will probably go to bed. Well, not probably. I will be going to bed after this chapter is over.
Nice.
Which is like when this timer ends, essentially. So within the next 20 minutes. But we can resume this some other time.
Excellent.
Hey, we'll link up over there. Look after Jesse.
We ready? Get ready to fight.
Come this way.
Give him some air.
This route should lead us straight to there.
Get ready to fight. We're taking over here.
I think I see an exit.
There's another one. Ready your arrows.
Don't look back. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Wait, I have to open this chest that has something that I can't carry in it. Obviously.
But what?
I have to open the chest that has a potion that I can't carry.
You can't carry?
Because I have 99 of them.
Oh,
Maxed out all my items already. And you can't
tragedy
use
is
items
struck.
on... Yeah, you can't use items on hard mode. So I just have a stockpile of them.
I've got you covered. Find us a way out of here. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I've got Soldier Boy with me.
Soldier Boy.
Soldier boy.
They're here. Take them down.
5 seconds is all. We ready? Who's next? Down with them buildings. Stay alert.
Jeez. Nice.
We ready?
I know I can't carry it, but I'm gonna open it anyway.
Nice. I respect
Yeah.
that.
Jeez. Off. God damn it. Wow. I think that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, it does one of those like anime skips. You had 15 minutes left, but suddenly it's like 2 seconds.
Jesus.
Fucking scumbags.
Huh.
I'm actually not sure if they explain it, but this is an electric power company.
Oh.
I can't remember if they had covered that later in the game. But yeah, that's like they're essentially using like the life force of the planet to power the city. Imagine like real life where there's only one electric company and they control the prices. That's what this is.
Oh my god. That is Agit prop.
And just like real life, they extract all the resources with no remorse.
If I couldn't, believe me, you'd be the first to know.
I'll take that as a yes.
Sauron's dominion of Mirror.
Fuck.
Okay, that was pretty cool. Alright, come on.
Oh shit. Who could have done this? These eco-terrorists.
A tragedy, to be sure.
Chapter 2. Fuck.
I followed the instructions to the letter. Maybe it triggered a reaction with the Mako?
Well, let's hope this city's still in one piece.
For the planet's what matters, right?
Fuck the planet.
Have been found
This must have helped
with the
some.
ring. They
After
make
all
their
that,
way
it
through
had
the
better have.
caves of shame.
Anyway, let's get going. We in Sector 8?
That'd be just down there.
All right then, lead the way.
You got it.
Yay!
Everywhere.
All right. That's it for today, John.
Hey, it was a lot of fun, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do this again. You're gonna make all the choices for me on this playthrough, by the way.
Oh shit,
So you know.
it'll be exciting.
Yeah. You'll get to do all the relationships and everything.
Oh damn, that's pressure.
We're gonna be a good guy or we're gonna be a bad guy? Who are we gonna join?
Pressure.
We're ex-soldier now, but maybe later on we'll be full soldier.
That's a lot of pressure.
I know, right? All right. I'm going to end this stream. Let me do this. I guess I could probably just click end.
Well, have a good night, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. I will. I don't know. When do you want to do this again?
Either like next like Friday or Saturday, if not sometime before then, if we like get the muse struck in us or something like that.
Yeah, cool. I was gonna say I'm actually totally down for tomorrow.
Oh,
I guess
okay.
But yeah.
If you're down for tomorrow, I'll definitely have to consider that, especially after my workout. So maybe like late.
Yeah, like I was probably just gonna play this anyway, so you can hang
Okay.
out with me. Play it
Cool.
again. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna go to sleep now and get up and eat something. But then I'm
All right. Awesome.
Cool. All right, man. See you later.
Have a good man. Have a good one, man. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. That was good. We won. Ladies and gentlemen, we won the battle. Saved as well. This is pure Thungle. And yeah. I forget what this is like from the evil perspective. They're like, I'm scared. Oh, they definitely got me. I don't lose. Very. They don't even, oh, they're gonna charge us. And then that's the catch. That's the catch. I just fucked up. It's not gonna be a free order. Yeah, it costs 100. Oh. Oh man. There's something over here. Treasure. Oh, that sound. Nice and crisp. Nice and crisp. I guess we're not building any trolls. Unless, they give us resources back here. They call them. Am I going to lose? We're going for the mini orcs strategy, the Mordor strategy. We'll see what happens. I'm bullshitting. Because, because I'm gonna lose. I love all my orcs. I love all my orcs. Yeah. I love all my orcs. You enter. The archers have to fucking go. This is such a great game. Look at all these orcs marching in. We're gonna kill hobbits. We're gonna get the ring. It's gonna be hours. Perfect. Just in time. Excellent. Get in there, troll. Get out of there, Column. Hobbit's about to die. We're gonna do this. What's the time? You were supposed to go eat north. Failed. Oh, maybe there are none. Maybe I didn't make it. I didn't make their favorite food. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry. Not sorry enough to have saved it. You're great. That's right, Evie.
Against the power of Sauron, there can be no victory.
There can be no victory. What power do I get from that? Actually, ten. Epic.
The destruction of Middle-earth. Must continue.
Pile of tempting stuff. I think I may have to call it here, though. As fun as this is, I might be getting ahead of myself. We got 10 power. Okay, well, we saved, and it's time to exit, honestly, and I hope everybody had a great time. If anybody was here, stick around, alright, thanks.